Hey everybody, this is Susan Hansberry with Simple Living Studio. One of the last videos I did, we marked our grid lines and found our center point. And this is just on paper and this is just for practice. But today I wanted to talk about the tools that I use. I often use a round tip brush. I'm going to put it on the black so you can see it. Round tip brush. I've got different sizes, different kinds, but I also use tools that are specifically for nail art, like fingernail art, but they're great for making dots. Each end, I'm going to put it on the black so you can see the ends. Each end is a different size. This is the smallest size. I don't know if you can see that. Each tool has a different size on each end. And they come in a set. I purchased these through Amazon. They were not that expensive. I also use crochet hooks. So this is a set of crochet hooks of various sizes. And now I'm going to talk about how to use these. So when you're dotting, if you fully load whatever item you're using, whether it's a brush, whether it's a dotting tool like this, whether it is something like this, you want to fully load your paint. Your paint needs to have the consistency of warm honey if you want it to have dimension. And what I mean by that is if you want it to have a rounded top, a rounded dome top on your dot, you want the paint consistency to be a little thick. You want it to have body. You want it to have the consistency of like warm honey. So, so it spreads smoothly, but it will dome at the top. If your paint is too thick, it will spike and it will leave a pointy, hard spike should your paint be too thick. If your paint is too thin, it's not going to hold the circle. It's going to run and spread and meld with the paint around it, which you don't want either. I paint on various surfaces, everything from rocks, canvas, sneakers, phone covers, pretty much you name it, I'll paint on it. So I have a variety of paints here, and I'm just going to show you the difference in some of the paint consistencies. This is folk art, acrylic. Everything I use is acrylic. This is matte. This is a great paint. However, it is too thick for dotting. You can see here when I shake it how much of the product is still at the top. If I load, well, I haven't gotten good. Let me really get some paint on there. All right, so now I've got a lot of paint on here, and you can see when I press down and lift up, it leaves a spike, and that spike will stay. It will stay unless I use a wet finger or the tool itself to try to smooth that down. And it still leaves a little swirl because the paint consistency is just too thick. So you can add Floetrol. You can add different mediums. Liquitex makes a gel medium that works really well. It will look like this product. It's not terribly expensive. Most craft stores have it. This is Craft Smart. This comes out of the bottle with a great consistency. So I'm just going to load up my brush with the paint that was in the cap. You can see when I turn the stylus, the paint moves with it. I mean, due to the weight, it's going to drop. You know, gravity is going to pull it down. It's going to drop off the end of the stylus. But if I press down, I lift up, it leaves a nice dome. But I would say if you're a beginner, start out finding what paints work well for you, what tools work well for you, and then practice. And when you're watching videos and you hear someone say, walk the dots, that's what this is. You're simply loading up whatever tool you're using. And you want to keep creating dots until you run out of paint. Now, here's a tip. This box I painted with flat black. If I were to make a mistake and this was the product, cleaning it up off of this would be quite difficult. You would use a wet Q-tip, wet piece of paper towel, try to wipe it off, but because it's flat, matte, black, you're going to have to take your black paint and touch up. If you use a gloss black, it's much easier cleanup. It will wipe cleanly away, or you can do your base coat on whatever item you're painting, give it a light coat of varnish, spray varnish, then go back and start your painting with your dots, and you'll find that it cleans up a lot easier. So those are my tips for today. I'm going to come back and do another video where we actually do a pattern on this grid here. Thanks so much for watching.